There are lots of articles and books out there that will tell you how to write romance novels. But I want to tell you how to write a great romance. It can take years to write well, but there are secrets to writing, and I'd like to give you the most important ones. I believe that the first step is to understand what the romance reader wants. Then give them exactly what they want. Stick with me, and I'll give you lots of pointers. First, let's talk a little bit about the romance genre. Why should you write romance? There are some very good reasons. Because most novels that are actually published and make a profit are romance and science fiction. According to Romance Writers of America, romance fiction was the biggest fiction category in 2007. Who are your readers? Women. According to MSNBC, women purchase the largest percentage of books within the United States, especially fiction. Look at these statistics. This is why many people are getting published in romance. Now, why do readers choose romance? That's easy. The romance reader wants to fall in love with a man who is passionate, compassionate, sexy, masculine, and most importantly, vulnerable. Well, one other thing. Quite often the hero is wealthy. In fact, many romance readers want to read about the alpha male. He's difficult, accomplished, brooding, and of course vulnerable. There's that word again. He may be an alpha, but he has to be sensitive and able to fall in love. When the heroine gets her man at the end, he is ready and willing to commit wholeheartedly. Women readers do want to fall in love, but that doesn't mean they want a simple book. Nor does it mean the heroine is only looking for love. Most of the heroines of today are educated, successful, well-traveled, and women that are sure of themselves. In fact, books about Pollyannas and women only looking for an MRS degree will not be heroines in a romance novel that is published nowadays. The basics of the romance novel are all the same. The central theme of the story must revolve around the two people who are falling in love. The conflict in the climax of the novel should be about developing a romantic relationship, and the ending should be a happy ending. But there's more. And there are things that make the romance novel more difficult to write than, say, a thriller or a science fiction novel. And that boils down to two major things. The first is that a romance novel must be character-driven, preferably with a good plot, but never plot-driven. And second is a healthy dose of external conflict, but most importantly is internal conflict. To be a good romance author, you must be masters of these two concepts. Let's look at character-driven. This really means that the author takes a back seat when writing and lets the characters direct where the story will go. This may sound easier than it really is. I believe this one concept is why many writers never get published. Writing a true character-driven novel means developing a very real character. This is the type of character that lives on in your head well after you put the book down or turn the movie off. This is like Scarlett O'Hara in Gone with the Wind. Who can forget her? Or Rick Blaine in Casablanca, played by Humphrey Bogart. These characters are larger than life. But most importantly, there are certain things these characters would and would not do. The other concept that will make or break a romance is internal conflict. We all know external conflict. When a wave comes roaring at you, you either float or swim. That wave itself would be external conflict. It forced us to take an action. Even if you didn't take any action, you were flattened by the wave or washed up on shore. Internal conflict is when the character is at odds with something. The character has one part of her that wants something, but there is another part of her that absolutely does not want it. This internal conflict is what makes a character interesting. This is also the basis of your romance. So, romance is a character-driven story that brings two headstrong characters together with their internal conflicts and all. If you would like to know more, visit me at leigbarbour.com.